Hello, welcome back. I'm Tanya from Tanya's Witchy Kitchen, and how are you doing today? I'm actually feeling kind of frazzled about stress. And stress is in everybody's life, and some stress is good, but when you're overstressed, things happen in our body that isn't good. Like your cortisol level goes up, your adrenals can get fried, and your hair can fall out, which is what mine does when I'm really stressed. And it has been just this last winter fall season, it's been hellacious. Like I used to clean my hairbrush out maybe twice a year, now I'm cleaning it out like every couple weeks, and it's driving me crazy. Everybody has stress, so you can't sit there and say your stress is worse than somebody else's. It's kind of like you can't say your pain is worse than somebody else's, but stress levels, it's still different. I mean, compared to a child, at that age, that child probably feels their stress level is through the roof. I'm talking junior high teenagers, Well, actually, my grandson's in elementary school, and he has stressful days. We all do, and like I said, some of it is normal. It's called growing and changing. But when it gets so bad that your body changes, like my hair falls out, oh, it's just awful, right? But everybody has different stress. Like my stress is different than my daughter's are, and their stress is totally different because they have two different types of lifestyles, totally different jobs, so their stress is totally different, but yet stressful. But anyway, we are doing number 5 of the Gen Zen fragrance oil testing reviews soaps, and so 3 things: be kind, be forgiving, and be you. Let's go check out soap number 5, Bad and Boozy. And here we are to Bad and Boozy. My point was, like, I hope you're not one of those people who drinks when they're stressed, because that's just, a not so good habit. And here is my column mold, and I'm going to explain this screw up right away to you. When I was doing my columns, and I had my soap notes, I actually changed the color of the column. It is it kiwi? I think it's kiwi green by Wholesale Supplies Plus. But the problem was on my notes, I didn't change it to kiwi green. I changed it to this jade green by apple green. I gotta check that out again. My notes. Anyways, I didn't change it on my notes, so the color greens are different in the soap. Yeah, nothing like ruining it. But to make it Bad and Boozy and actually taking a little risk here, I decided I was going to add some grapefruit shandy, which is an alcohol. I kind of think of it like the old wine cooler type things, and there's a whole story behind that alcohol, so it's not, it's been evaporated, if you want to say. It's been sat out overnight, probably a day, just evaporating the alcohol away, okay? And that is something soapers do. You can evaporate it, you can boil it out, you can, or sometimes like me, just leave it in there, it'll evaporate itself out. But yeah, didn't really take it slow in any shape or form with this fragrance oil. The Bad and Boozy fragrance oil usage rate is 4.28%, so not so bad. And it's close to 5. It's close to my regular 5. And I don't think I had a lot of problems. I do want to say it did accelerate slightly, which I'll show you. But I'm going to say that. And then just adding my grapefruit shandy after the fragrance oil. Yeah, like I said, I didn't play this safe at all for having no soap notes or anything. But, I mean, it's okay, right? I was like, I think that they've all been performing very well. It didn't say do not use in cold process soap. I've seen a couple things where after the whole usage rate and the essential oils and the
the usage things changed. I saw one where it was fine for cold process, and all of a sudden now it wasn't fine for cold process. However, you could still put it in liquid soap and lotion and melt and pour. And I was like, well, what if these people have been using it for cold process soap prior? Because they put the pictures on the website. I was like, why can't you use it anymore if they were using the proper usage rate? Or maybe the usage rate went down so far that they just couldn't. I don't know. But anyway, we are doing another slab where this is the bottom portion. Is just a solid color. Yeah, maybe one of these days I will go back to the notes that I originally did for it, because it was really kind of a cool idea. But they were all going to be like the tall skinny mold, and yeah, that's a whole nother story. So back to the heat pad. That thing has been working like all solid. Pad and Boozy. There it is. Just a solid appliance lately is my heat pad. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, so more pink. The pink is ballet slippers. Mm-hmm. Ballet slippers by Mad Micah. And I have apple green written down for the... I'm wondering if that must be the new one from Nurture Homemade. It's not Nurture Homemade, it's Nurture Handmade. I always say homemade, but it's handmade. Used to be Nurture Soap. But anyway, you can see it's accelerating. Here's the point though. Is it because of the grapefruit shandy, or is it because of the fragrance oil? I don't know. It is a little chunky, but it's not like it was hard to do, especially when you see the pour. It wasn't like it was stressful or anything like that. The good news is there was no soap on a stick. I'd probably freak out at that point. Let's see. It's fairly fluid. Yeah. And the other thing was, my oils and my lye water were like around 70 degrees, and I like them around 90 to 100 degrees, just because it just seems more fluid to me than the 70 degrees. So, but that's okay. That's how it was. You know what I mean? It's just a thing. It's a personal preference. You know what I'm saying? So in goes my column. It's supposed to set kind of right on top of the pink, and yeah. And then we're just going to do a kind of a different one. I haven't really done this in a long time, where you just zigzag back and forth. You do get different lines. It's not like your thin lines pour or you're down the side of the column. It's kind of a bloppy line, which is kind of cool when you see it. Oh, well, you've already seen it because you saw the thumbnails. So trying to alternate those pours back and forth, you know. And so, like I said, did it accelerate? I don't know, because, there is alcohol in here, and although it was evaporated, so it should have behaved a little bit better, but so take it with a grain of salt. If you don't have alcohol in your concoction, it could be a little thick, but with my expertise on this, I'm going to say it's probably the alcohol that helped spread it along and warm it up and thicken it up, and but that's okay. So that's all I did, was back and forth kind of with those lines and zigzaggy. Yes, that's a word. Has to be a word. I said so. But yeah, so it's still pourable. See? So nothing to worry about. And mine sat up waiting for the bottom, of the heat pad to solidify a little bit so I could put my column on there and not have it sink. So there's that too. It sat for at least 2 to 3 minutes just sitting there waiting for me to do something with it. But anyways, so the greens are very weird. Very weird. And for the top, I think I just did what do you call this, you guys? It has a special word and I can never remember it. But it looks really cool. And then what you don't see is me putting those little square blocks on top. So there you go. I put them on top. It needed it. As you can see, I have a few holes. It was very thick, which makes sense. Probably didn't tap it down hard enough. I never seem to. There's my column on the bottom, on the sides there. And then to figure out which one do I cut first? Which side do I cut first? And I was like, well, if I'm going to shave a little bit off, I'm going to do it off this side because that side was bigger. And that's kind of cool. Got a big teal square right in the middle. Seriously. That sticks out like a sore thumb. But back to the stress stuff. Do you have habits that you do when you're stressed? Like I have one daughter who does not eat when she's stressed, which is awful because, believe me, she doesn't need to lose any weight. I wish I had that problem. I'm probably a stress eater, when I'm stressed. And some people, did you know that stress and depression will make you procrastinate things that you should be doing? That I believe. Been there, done that. I can't fix that, so I'm going to fix it. I should say I can't cut it, so I'm going to fix it. It's called robbing Peter to pay Paul. It'll look better after a little bit. But yeah, do you have any stressful habits? Things that you do when you're stressed? I know stress can also raise your cortisol levels, and it can really put stress on your adrenals. And you really don't want your adrenals to be shot because that is not a good thing. I've been there and done that too. There's some really great supplements for that. Yeah, it looks like it's got some glycerin rivers. I really do like this recipe overall, the number 8. I really like the number 8. Oops. Let me tell you, that thing was so creamy in the shower. It had these big bubbles, but these creamy bubbles, and it was so silky. And I might just do it again on purpose. I tried having my son do it, and he's the one who just uses the Blue Caribbean soap. And he was like, I don't know, I just didn't notice a difference. He goes, maybe a little bit difference, but he goes, he just uses it, the Blue Caribbean for an everything bar. It's like an all-in-one shampoo, body bar, everything for him. But enough of that. These are cute. Even though they're a little wonky with that 2 different greens. Here is the picture that Wholesale Supplies Plus has on their website for Bad and Boozy. Here are the fragrance notes to Bad and Boozy. I felt it's very earthy. It's earthy. Here's the bars once I cut them, and here they are when they are cured. And as always, I hope you had a good time. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.